Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allie and welcome to Summerween. I've been looking forward to this for months. Last year was my first year participating. I had an absolute ball, met a lot of you. Hope you're still here. And it's time again. As you're watching this, it's here. We're on day one. Oh my God. And Gabby's added an extra day this year. Thank God. I don't want this to ever end. If you're not sure what Summerween is, it is a readathon hosted by the wonderful, the magnificent Gabby Reads. I'll post her announcement video down below if you want more info. Let me crack open my drink while I talk. Also, LOL, I have to use a spoon to open the Monster bottles because like they're so close to them. I believe there are 5 prompts. They should be on the screen. Editing Allie, do your thing. This year I am daily vlogging again, which is very exciting. I love to daily vlog. For some reason, I find it easier than vlogging for like a whole week and just reading 3 books. No. Daily vlogging is like, I don't have time to overthink things. We just do it. I asked for time off from my job like a month ago. So it's happening. Because I have extra, sorry, this is probably distracting. It sounds like I'm pissing. I'm not. Ooh, listen to that. Because I'm gonna have some extra time because I'm not working, I would like to finish a book every single vlog, aka every single day, but no concrete promise there. If something happens, like life can get in the way, you know? But that being said, I'm gonna be reading a book every day. And I'm challenging myself to not DNF anything. Oh. So I had to pick this TBR very wisely. There are 9 books here. I do plan on reading all of them, which I'll explain when I get to a certain book. This morning I wrote all the titles on little strips of paper and cut them out because during my vlogs I'm going to be drawing them to see which book I read every day. That way I'm surprised every day. It feels impulsive even though like I'm setting a TBR. I have to trick my mind into doing things sometimes. And I thought, hey, what the F, let's just do it for the TBR too. So that's how I'll be presenting the TBR to you. I don't know if you care, but it's fun. I have to make everything fun. And then as I present each book, I will tell you like which prompt it covers. Oops, you might have just seen that. Whoops. All right, first up is... Ooh, this one I think I just showed you by accident. Hungerstone. I've been talking about this since the end of last year. This is a Carmilla retelling. I recently read, well, it's January recent. I read this book this year in my little vampire vlog. I was obsessed with the first half of it. I really wanted a lot more in the second half. So I'm very excited for a modern writing of this, although it is set back in the same time period as Carmilla originally was written. If you're unaware of what the story of Carmilla is, we are following Lenore in this book. I believe it's Lenora in the original Carmilla. Doesn't matter. We're gonna stop talking about her. Lenore is married to this dude and it sounds like he's boring, okay? She's not really in love anymore. Things aren't looking great, but this is like the 1800s. I don't know what her options are at this point. Lucky for her, a new bitch comes to town named Carmilla. Carmilla's weak and pale during the day, but vibrant at night. Carmilla stirs up something deep within Lenora. No, it's Lenore, sorry. But before long, girls from the local villages fall sick, consumed by a terrible hunger. I keep reading like almost vampire books that have similar themes or like creatures that are somewhat similar to vampires, and it's just been like egging me on to get right back into it. I cannot wait for this. Also, I think it was in my mid-year freakout tag where I was like, I'm really hoping that a modern retelling is not going to shy away from lesbianism, and I got this comment. So I'm excited. See, I know that was a good pick because like I'm dying to start it right this second and I have a little fire burning in my chest. That's actually just indigestion, sorry. It's probably the monster. Next up is this. Can you read that? I just talked about this in my book haul. I hadn't planned to put this in my Summerween TBR, but then I was reading the synopsis and I was getting hyped during the book haul. And then several of you told me in the comments how good it was. This is like a horror thriller, so honestly, it's perfect. Oh wait, I forgot to go over which prompt this covers. This is a horror novel, so it definitely covers number 2. Maybe I'll have to read this one in the dark too. I don't know. A few of these we could use for a bunch of them, and Gabby, thank you for doing that. But yeah, just look at this cover. It's menacing. And honestly, the synopsis is terrifying. It's like one of my worst nightmares. A man is just chasing our main character, this woman named Jess. Jess ends up finding a 5-year-old boy outside of her apartment. She has a violent, bloody encounter with his dad, and now they're on the run. But he's chasing them, and like bloody things are happening. There's horrifying incidents of butchery following them. It says at first Jess thinks she understands what they're up against, but she's about to learn that there's more to these surreal and grisly events than she could ever have imagined. Surreal. I will keep that in mind. Also, I will keep this in mind. Is he a werewolf? Just the thought of anyone running after me is terrifying, so I think this is a perfect choice. If I read this in the dark, maybe I'll have to use this for prompt 1, because I might get the heebie-jeebies. My legs do a little dance like this when I'm scared. Anyway, let's move on. Next up is... Odd Buddy! Yay! I got this sent from the publisher, Danielle at Simon & Schuster. You're a real one. I love you. I opened the package up Oh, sorry about that. I opened an ARC package up. One of them you'll see in another book in this TBR, but in this video, there's a timestamp that says like ARC package opening if you want to check out me squeaking like an actual dolphin. This just came out on July 1st, which is actually when I'm filming this video. Happy birthday, baby! But this is a collection of short horror stories, but they might also be like somewhat horror, maybe even like horror that's not horror. It just sounds weird and unsettling. There are 10 stories in here, and I'm hoping to read all of them through the spans of all of these vlogs, so at least one story in each video. That's why I have 9 books on my 8-day TBR. Let me give you a little snippets of some of these stories. Odd Body, the titular story. I love the word titular, by the way. I bet Carmilla does too. In Odd Body, a woman finds herself navigating a codependent relationship with a ghost. Love it. The story Squirm portrays a daughter tending to her father as he devours himself from the inside out. Pineapple introduces us to a woman who opts to have feather wings surgically attached to her back. And in Eggshells, a waitress gives birth to an egg during her breakfast shift. Just casual. Yeah, love it. I am so excited for this. I love a weird collection. I'm currently reading Ghost Roots, which is also horror adjacent. I don't know why I said it like that. If you need a rec of short stories, and I don't think this counts as horror, but there's some weird shit happening in this collection. It's like my favorite one of all time so far. Now this, oh, I'm sorry. And on your birthday. Now this, Gabby, I'm gonna cheat a little bit, okay? I might end up using this for prompt 5, read a novella, manga, or listen to a spooky audiobook. Short stories are novella-like, right? Right? Okay, yes. Thank you for agreeing with me. Next up is The Compound. I was able to read that backwards. Look at me. I believe this just came out at the end of June. It is a thriller. There's some sci-fi elements, but it just sounds wild and fun. And it's a synopsis that I usually wouldn't go toward because it's like a reality TV thing. So this is in a post-apocalyptic or I can't say that word. Apocalyptic atmosphere. I don't know like what events have unfolded or why. It'll be interesting to see if they explain that or if it'll just be like weird shit in the background, you know, like, oh, look at that. The earth is exploding behind us. Anyway, our main character enters this reality show. I think there might be like a dating element to it, but I believe you're like competing to end up winning a space at this compound. I might have made that up. But each competition you win things like yummy food that is no longer available to the wider population, or even like a front door for your home, which is apparently hard to come by. But as the competition goes on and on, it gets way more dangerous and you start thinking like, wait a minute, it might actually be just as dangerous to be outside in the earth exploding world. And also they're probably gonna be doing shady shit to try to like compete with each other. You know what? I don't know why this is calling to me so much. Competition in general, it tires me, it exhausts me, and it's like makes my stomach just act up a little bit, but for some reason I'm clocked into this and I'm excited to read it. So no DNFs, I'm gonna read it. If memory serves, this definitely has a sky on the cover, so I'm going to use this for prompt number 3. All right, next up. Why am I getting nervous? Like I already know what's in here. I just put them in. I can't read that. Her Many Faces. Okay, this is actually an ARC I have. I believe it's being released July 15th. Now, I did ask you on my community tab if you minded if I read an ARC or two. The majority of you said go for it. And a couple of you even said that you were excited to hear specifically about ARCs. So this is one of them. This is like a thriller mystery where a woman is being charged with poisoning an entire like breakfast buffet at some country club. The whole book though is told through all the men in her life's point of views. We have like her father, her ex-lover, her guy best friend from childhood, her lawyer, maybe her boss, people like that. And they all have different things to say about her, and it all paints very interesting perspectives. I love reading about perspective, and I think this kind of like removed perspective for a mystery book in particular is going to like keep me on my toes, because I'm going to be trusting her because like I'm already on her side, TBH. But at the same time, there's going to be a little seeds of doubt being planted in my mind. I can't wait for this one. Next up, I still can't read that. Dang, I thought I was really good at this. Cross my heart, okay! Now, I also asked you on the community tab, I was going like poll crazy this month. I just love to get your opinions on things. But I noticed I didn't have much thriller, which is funny because I think I have a whole stack back here, but I couldn't think of any that I was dying to read, so I asked your opinions. I got over 50 suggestions, and there were 3 books in particular that were mentioned 3 times each. One of which was Kill for Me, Kill for You. Also, my friend Venus, who is one of the persons who suggested this, has a Summerween TBR. Go check it out. I'll link it down below. A lot of people were also suggesting, why don't I just put a little clip here? Sorry. The Other Side of Night by Adam Hamdy. I was able to get this from my Libby app. However, when I went onto Goodreads to read the synopsis, I glanced at a review and I think I spoiled it for myself. However, I'm hoping that it's not an actual spoiler that I saw, because it sounds like this is going to be a really twisty book. Maybe that's just like the first spoiler. Maybe there's more. I don't know. But then also mentioned 3 times was Cross My Heart by Megan Collins. And honestly, I think I'm going with this one because I remember talking about it, I think in my January new releases video, and I was like, oh my god. Because not only is this a thriller, it just sounds like drama, unlikable, cringy ass, desperate character. I don't know. This is calling to me. Plus, like, that little finger on the keyboard. It's just menacing, but cute, but also like, girl, what are you doing? Our main character's name is Rosie. I think she gets like a heart transplant. There's like an app that you can find out who like donated your heart and start talking to them, which is crazy. Anyway, Rosie is so sure that her heart that she got belongs to the wife of this famous author. And so I think she like worms herself into his life through this app, just as like oh, I just want to let you know I have your wife's heart. But she is thinking like, oh, that's my new man. Like, I have his wife's heart. That's his heart. I belong with him. But then the synopsis goes on to say that this dude has more that he's hiding. So I think it's going to be one of those wonderful stories. Also sounds a little bit without the heart transplant stuff, like this book I just talked about. It's like a book where we think this character is absolute bananas, and then the dude she's thirsting over is an actual psychopath. But then I also saw a bunch of reviews saying that this took a lot of turns that people weren't expecting. I'm honestly in it for the drama. Like, I don't even care about the thriller aspect. It just sounds like a lot of cringy fun. And it's so funny when a book is like trying to make a character cringy, it is just so entertaining to me. As opposed to when a character is trying to be sincere and it's coming off as cringy, I'm like, get away from me. All right, only 3 left. What'll it be? It'll be this. Okay. Danielle, thanks again, babe. I love you. This is another book that's coming out on July 15th, I'm pretty sure. And I just woke up this morning to see the aardvark choices, and it's an aardvark choice. I think the thing that's really exciting me, which I need to calm down about, it's being compared to the likes of Bunny and Night Bitch. Our main character's name is Cassie. She has just broken up with her girlfriend, and she's going back to her hometown after an incident at her job. I'm so curious what this incident is. I'm gonna keep doing this. Anyway, she runs into an old friend, and like 2 months later, she marries him. Wow. He has a son. He's now a widower. His wife was named Beth. So Cassie's very curious about Beth. She was like a trad wife. Cassie's trying to live up to that, which is just her first mistake, I think. But also she's grappling a lot with her mental health. She has harm OCD, and her mind is conjuring gory, graphic images. She starts hearing a voice narrating the house's secrets. As she listens, sorry I'm doing this verbatim, but like, this is too good. The voice grows stronger, guiding Cassie down a path to uncover the truth about Beth's untimely death. Is it giving this? I don't know. It says this debut novel, oh wow, exposes every version of a person, both real and imagined. So I think we're gonna get a lot of like, is this really happening? I'm guessing because of the bunny comp, there's gonna be like a spiraling, a fever dream quality to this. And it's short. I feel like short, not horror, but not really horror books are my jam. I end up loving them. I'm trying not to tack a 5-star prediction onto this, but hey, it's sort of drifting over. Also, how funny that this is called House of Beth. I bet Cassie is reeling from that. Maybe she is Beth. I don't know. That's a theory. All right, 2 choices left. And we have this little one. Oh, Slewfoot, baby. I bought this like my first year of booktube, I think, and I still haven't read it. It has been on so many TBRs. It's a 5-star prediction, and I just love the shape of it. It's so square. Plus there's artwork in it, so I know it's gonna be atmospheric. Like, hello, what the fuck? She smells like a coffee table book. That is a good sign. The only thing I can ever remember about this book is that Riley once said that this is almost monster romance. I've never been able to take that out of my brain, and it's the thing that's made me want to read this most. I'm not thinking that there's going to be any romance in here, but I'm looking for some subtext, okay? But also because, like, Slewfoot's a demon. I don't know if you've been watching some of my other videos, but I'm obsessed with demons right now. This is set in Connecticut in 1666. I see what you did there, Slewfoot. An ancient spirit awakens in a dark wood. The wild folk call him father, slayer, protector, but the colonists call him Slewfoot, demon, devil. I think one time I was telling you the synopsis and I just like slipped the word daddy in there. To Abatha, who I think is our main character, she's a widow. She's also an outcast, and she's alone, and she's desperate. It's giving Nosferatu a little bit. Together they ignite the battle between pagan pagan and Puritan, one that threatens to destroy the entire village, leaving nothing but ashes and bloodshed in its wake. If it's the devil you seek, then it is the devil you shall have. My foster mom's watching this like, go to church. So yeah, I don't think there is a romance in here, but again, like, I'm looking for a little bit of subtextual tension. I almost said sex, sorry. At the same time though, I've been loving historical settings in non-historical books, especially horror, like my vampire books I've been reading. I just know this is gonna be 5 stars. I'm kind of scared that I'm like psyching myself out, but there's no way, there's no way. And then last is Private Rights by Julia Armfield. Oh my gosh, I'm failing the prompts already. This I'm also counting as like a sky because like that bitch is in the moon. Also check out those feet. What were those like really trendy shoes going around? Oh my god. Both of these have been sitting on my shelf for over a year. This one I bought last June from the UK because I could not wait until December to get my little paws on it and read it. Allie. Come on. So both of these fill prompt 4, which is to read a book you've owned for more than a year. I think I was putting this one off because I was intimidated because Our Wives Under the Sea is one of my all-time favorite books. This impacted me so much. It's like such a mix of emotions. I was like somber, but I was thoughtful. There was a little wit in here. It was just everything I wanted. And there was a little bit of romance because you saw this couple and how they fell in love and also how things were looking now. There was just so much in it. I love the writing. And so I was just scared, I think, to be hoping for all of that and not get it. But then just this month, I read Salt Slow, which is Julia Armfield's short story collection. Love this. Most of the stories were 5 stars. All of the others were 4, 4.5. And while I get that people don't think this is actually horror, that is one of my favorite genres, horror that is not horror. I just love the way she writes, just the random detail. It feels very clipped and like staccato, the way the rhythm of the words she chooses. But also there's like an empty sort of aching quality to her writing. I don't know how to describe it. It's just so wonderful and so like mine. So now there's like no doubt in my mind that this isn't going to be 5 stars because even if I don't love the story, I'm going to love the writing. The story in question, I think it's set in the future where it's been raining for years and years and years to the point where they have to start building buildings differently. There are 3 sisters and their father is the one that I think was responsible for changing the architecture. Anyway, he ends up dying, RIP. All of his daughters were estranged to him, so they come back together in his creepy, fancy glass house. We're probably gonna get all their trauma, why they were estranged from their father, their relationships with each other, and like all the tidbits that they're up to in their personal lives. But then it also says that in this grand glass house, they begin to sense that his magnetic influence lives on through it. Something sinister seems to be unfolding, something related to their mother's long ago disappearance, ? And the strangers who have always been unusually interested in their lives. So again, I don't think this is gonna be like running through a streets with a bloody man chasing after you, but it's gonna have that kind of menacing, empty, like eerie quality. I cannot wait. So that's the TBR. I am so excited. I actually have so many 5-star potentials in here. So yes, I'm going to be getting into that thriller horror atmosphere, but also like adding to the 5 stars. I think I've only had 3 this year. I need to bump that number up, baby. I do have some homework for you. First of all, tell me a couple of the books you're reading for summerween. Let me know if you read any of these or you are going to be reading any of these. And also let me know your opinions on both Kill for Me, Kill for You and The Other Side of Night. If you've read both of them, battle it out. Which one do you like better? I need to know, just for fun. All right, that's all. You know what? I'll actually see you tomorrow with my first summerween vlog, day 1. Oh my god. Also, if you're vlogging or you're planning on releasing a vlog next week or whenever, please let us know in the comments because I am going to want to binge them after I'm done binging all of these books. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.